Ever look up at the night sky and wonder, like, are we really alone out here? It's a
Wow.
question that's captivated people for centuries, and you're not alone in wondering.
Yeah.
So today we're doing a deep dive into an article that explores this very question. Is there life beyond Earth?
This article doesn't mess around. It gets into some really complex ideas like the Drake equation.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't, like, astrophysicists, what is the Drake equation?
So imagine trying to figure out the chances of like winning the lottery, but instead of money, we're talking about finding aliens.
Yeah.
The Drake equation is this formula that tries to calculate that possibility,
Mm-hmm.
taking into account things like how many stars are born, how many of those stars have planets that could support life, and the chances of intelligent life actually developing on those planets.
So it's kind of like a cosmic recipe with all these different ingredients.
Exactly. And just like with any recipe, the final result depends on what you put into it. And the article really stresses that we're basically making educated guesses about some pretty massive unknowns. I mean, think about it. We're still trying to figure out how life even started here on Earth.
That's a really good point. It's not like we've got it all figured out here, but I'm guessing that doesn't stop us from speculating, right?
No, not at
Yeah.
all. The Drake equation is kind of a reminder that even with what little we know, the universe is so vast that it allows for some really mind-blowing possibilities. I mean, depending on how you look at the numbers, there could be thousands of civilizations out there just in the Milky Way. Or maybe it's just us.
Wow. That's like both humbling and kind of terrifying at the same time. But like, we're not just talking about our own little corner of the universe, are we?
That's a great point. This article takes a much wider view. Get this. There are something like 500 million galaxies in the observable universe.
Wow.
Let that sink in for a sec. 500 million galaxies, each with billions or even trillions of stars and planets.
Okay, now my head is spinning. With that many chances for life to emerge, finding another civilization wouldn't just be likely, it'd be a guarantee, right?
You would think so, and there are some big names in science, like this astrophysicist, Evgenia Skolnik, who believes that finding other civilizations is just a matter of time.
So what makes her so sure?
Well, think about how much our understanding of space has changed even in the last few decades. The first exoplanet, which is a planet orbiting another star, wasn't even discovered until the 1990s. And now, we're finding them all over the place, thanks to telescopes like Kepler. And with the James Webb Telescope coming online, who knows what we'll discover?
It does feel like we're on the verge of some incredible discoveries. But that brings up a pretty big question, and this is where things get really interesting. If the universe is so vast and the potential for life is so high, why haven't we met anyone yet?
You've just hit on one of the biggest mysteries in the search for extraterrestrial life, the Fermi Paradox.
Okay, so tell me more. What exactly is the Fermi Paradox?
Imagine you walk into a party expecting to see tons of people, but it's totally empty.
Yeah.
The Fermi Paradox is basically asking, where is everybody? If the universe is this big party we keep hearing about, where are all the guests?
It's kind of a spooky thought when you really think about it.
Right.
A universe that could be teeming with life, but we're all alone. So how do we even begin to explain that?
Well, the article I was reading actually brings up some pretty interesting possibilities.
Mm.
And it's not all bad news. One explanation is that we really are alone.
Which, I mean, that's kind of exciting and terrifying, right?
Yeah. I mean, it would make life on Earth a total fluke, like a one-time cosmic miracle.
Right.
But hey, humans haven't exactly been the best at sharing, so maybe it's for the best.
I guess you're right. So, okay, let's say we're not alone. Maybe it's not that life is so rare. Maybe it's just really hard to get around.
That's another really good point. We tend to forget just how mind-bogglingly huge space is. I mean, look, even in our own solar system, just getting to Mars is a massive challenge.
Right.
So now imagine trying to travel between stars. Each light year is like trillions of miles.
Okay, yeah, that puts things in perspective. We're talking about trips that would take longer than a human lifetime. A lot longer.
Yeah.
Even with our best technology.
And that's, if we're talking about tech that we haven't even invented yet, the article even brings up this other kind of scary idea. Maybe civilizations just don't last very long. Like they end up destroying themselves before they can even reach out to other worlds, whether it's war or environmental collapse or something totally unexpected.
Wow. That's a pretty dark thought.
Yeah.
Like a warning from the universe, right? We're so busy searching for aliens, maybe we should be more worried about saving ourselves.
It's definitely something to think about. The Fermi Paradox isn't just about the universe. It's about us too. and the choices we make here on Earth.
Makes you wonder, are we looking at this all wrong? Maybe those advanced aliens out there, maybe they're not actually trying to contact us at all.
Now, that's a really interesting possibility. Maybe they are out there, but they're just watching us.
Like we're some kind of intergalactic reality show. Okay, I don't know if I should be flattered or creeped out. So if they are out there watching us, how would we even know? It's got to be more complicated than just looking for UFOs, right?
Right. It's not as simple as a flying saucer parking in Times Square.
Yeah.
But there are scientists who are listening for even the faintest hints of other life.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Tell me about these cosmic eavesdroppers.
Well, they're part of this project called SETI,
SETI.
which stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
Okay.
And they use these crazy, powerful radio telescopes to scan space, hoping to pick up any signals, anything that might suggest there's someone else out there.
So they're like tuning into a radio hoping to hear like alien music or something?
Kinda. And you just never know. There have been a few times where they've heard things that really made them wonder, like the wow signal back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. That was a big deal. What do we think about that now? Was it like a real signal or some kind of mistake?
That's the thing. It's still a mystery.
Really?
It sounded like it could have been something amazing, a really strong signal from way out there, but even though they tried to find it again, it never showed up again.
Wow. I guess it's kind of cooler that it disappeared, you know? Like the universe is saying, hey, I'm here, and then just vanishes.
It's definitely a cool thought.
Hmm.
But even if it was nothing special, it reminds us that there's still so much we just don't understand about space.
Yeah, no kidding. So I wanted to ask, you mentioned earlier that astrophysicist, what was her name? Evgenia Shkolnik.
Colin, yeah.
She said finding aliens, even tiny ones, would be a huge deal for humanity. What does she mean? I mean, isn't that like just a science thing?
Well, it is science, but it goes beyond that, you know? Like she's saying it would make us rethink our whole place in the universe. Imagine if we knew for sure we weren't alone.
Yeah, like, whoa, we're just this one little planet.
Exactly. Could bring everyone together, you know, make us realize we're all part of something much bigger.
That would be amazing, especially these days when it feels like everyone's always fighting. But what if it doesn't do that? What if finding aliens just freaks everyone out even more?
That's the big question, isn't it? There's no way to know how we'd react. It'd be this huge moment. Would we be excited or terrified? I mean, they make movies about this all the time.
No kidding. Well, I think we covered a lot today, from the Drake equation to that creepy silence, the paradox
The
thing.
Fermi Paradox.
Right, that. It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Asking the big questions and remembering how amazing the universe is.
I couldn't agree more. So for everyone listening, we want to know, what do you think? How would discovering aliens change things? Head to our social media and tell us what you think. And until next time, keep looking up.